Get your free copy of the complete tutorial at www.teachucomp.com/free.
If using the traditional Shared Workbooks feature, you have a few options for highlighting and reviewing changes in a shared workbook. You can show and track changes in a workbook and even list the changes in a separate History worksheet. You can then use the History Worksheet tab to review the changes and then choose to individually accept or reject the changes. The History sheet shows the name of the person who made the change, what type of change was made, when it was made, which cells were affected, and what data was added or deleted. If you don't want to see this information in a separate worksheet, you can also show it directly in the changed worksheet. You can do this when several people make editing changes to a shared workbook, or after sending a workbook for review and then merging the collected input and commentary back into one copy. To enable change highlighting within a shared workbook, click the Track Changes button in the Changes button group on the Review tab of the ribbon. Then click the Highlight Changes command from the Buttons drop-down menu to open the Highlight Changes dialog box. The Highlight Changes dialog box lets you set the appearance of editing changes. Checking the Track Changes while editing, this also shares your workbook checkbox, enables change tracking as you edit the workbook. The Highlight Which Changes section lets you choose the types of changes to highlight. By default, some types of changes aren't tracked. However, this section lets you choose when, for whom, and for which cells to highlight changes. Use the When checkbox in drop-down to select the duration of time for which to highlight changes. You can only highlight changes from as far back as you have been tracking changes when you created and shared the workbook. For example, if you set the shared workbook to track change history for 30 days, you won't be able to see or highlight any changes from before 30 days ago. Use the Who checkbox in drop-down to select from whom to highlight changes. You can even use the Where checkbox in drop-down to select a cell range within which to highlight changes. You can check the Highlight Changes on Screen checkbox to show the changes in the changed cells. Changed cells show a small triangle in their upper left corners. When you hold your mouse pointer over them in a worksheet, the information about the change appears in a small pop-up text box. You can also check the List Changes on a New Sheet checkbox to list the changes in a new worksheet named History. You can then review the changes in either place. Just click the OK button to highlight changes in the selected location.
Like what you see? Pick up your free copy of the complete tutorial at www.teachucomp.com/free.